Hello and welcome to episode 112 of the Daily Sales Message, where each and every single day, for at least the last 112 days in a row now, we've provided you with a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. If you're new around here, my name is James Newell and I teach people how to sell for a living, and for me it comes in two very distinct components. First of all, you have to have a clear sales message. People have got to understand exactly what it is you're trying to sell to them. And secondly, you need selling confidence, the ability to be comfortable and relaxed in a selling situation, because most people aren't. It's quite difficult, isn't it? It's quite intimidating. In today's episode 112, now I usually don't do this, but today we're going to do it. And what I'm talking about is that phrase, I usually don't do this. Usually I don't do this, because I think it's absolute garbage and it's a lie. And when people do this to me, essentially what I don't hear, I usually don't do this. What I hear is, I always do this. Now, this is used by people when they're outreaching, sending cold messages and DMs and talking to people, etc. Now, James, I usually don't do this, but if you could buy today, we could do this. If you could do this, we could do that. It's used as a way of communicating scarcity with your buyer and like you're somehow doing them a favor. But most intelligent people, most normal people realize that I usually don't do this is probably a lie. However, it doesn't stop people from doing it. It doesn't stop sellers from thinking they've got you hoodwinked and using it and thinking that you can be anything other than completely honest and transparent with your buyer. Now, my approach to selling is about good communication and finding a connection point. I don't believe that you need to push and convince and persuade, coerce anybody to do anything, and I certainly don't think you can rush the timeline of a sale. Buyers buy when they are ready. So just be wary of using things like this, mechanisms like this. Well, I usually don't do this, but I'll make an exception for you. When you know damn well you do it for every single person, and it's just a mechanism that you use to try and speed things up or make them feel special, it's just lying at the end of the day. And the trouble is, when you lie and you coerce people and you do these things that aren't 100% authentic and legitimate, and trust me, you know when you're doing these things, because in your heart of hearts, you know what is right and wrong. You don't need me to tell you. But when you do these kind of things, it only really has a short-term bonus. But in the long term, it doesn't work. And when you lie to people, they pretty much always find out you lie to them. The kicker is they just don't tell you that they found out. So, usually I don't do this. Please stay away from that. Please don't use any kind of strategies and gimmicks and mechanisms like that, because if you usually don't do this, it pretty much always doesn't actually work to get the result that you want. That's it for this episode of the Daily Sales Message. I feel like I've told you off there, so apologies for that, but please don't do that kind of stuff, because it doesn't work. You don't need to be pushy and coercive with people to get them to sell. You just got to have a chat with them and say, hey, what's the challenge you've got? All right, well, this is what I do, and this is how I can help you with that challenge. How does that sound to you? Would you like to hear more? Would you like to work with me? It's not really more complicated than that, and you don't need to feel like you need to hoodwink and lie and mislead people to get the result you want. Okay, tomorrow, episode 113, we're going to be talking about signposting. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow, because of course I'm going to tease you into coming back for more. If you haven't already, please do find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there. Connect with me, shoot me a DM. It's always lovely to hear from listeners of the Daily Sales Message. If there's something you'd like me to cover in a future episode, then let me know, because I've got lots of things to talk about, but I always like to talk about things that are relevant to my audience. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 113.